Good morning and welcome. My name is Mike McGreevy and I'm the Vice President for Institutional Advancement, and it is my pleasure to welcome you here in Cowan in the Fritchie Theater to our Celebration of Otterbein. I'd also like to welcome our friends visiting us today on the World Wide Web. We have the honor of being part of the first production. We're back in person. We're back in person today, isn't that great? For our first production, Theater and Dance this year for The Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. If you haven't seen it, just opened. There's still several opportunities this weekend and next, so please join us. For those of you at home, we give a little context as you're wondering about this amazing set behind us, and you're also, I saw earlier, you're going to get a nice view of my friend Otto back here. So if you're wondering what that is part, not the bodyguard up here today, that is part of the production. A great day to celebrate all that we have here at Otterbein. We are so thankful for our students, our faculty and staff, our alumni, our families, our friends, all that support us, all that embrace our opportunities with us, all that embrace our challenges with us. Today you're also going to hear, after we celebrate our 12 award recipients and one organization, we'll do that in just a minute, you're also going to hear from President John Comerford, who will give us a little bit about the state of the university. So without further ado, I'd like to again welcome you, thank you, and introduce my colleague Steve Crawford, Executive Director of Alumni Engagement.
So good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Otterbein. I'm so excited to introduce the Otterbein Alumni Awards this year. The Otterbein Alumni Awards program is a long-standing tradition dating back to 1950, when the first award was presented. Mathematics professor Benjamin Curtis Glover was proudly named the first honorary alumnus. In 1951, the Distinguished Alumni Award was first presented to Edgar Weiland, class of 1891. For 70 years, alumni and friends of Otterbein are recognized annually for their many, many contributions to their professions, their community, and their direct service to the Otterbein campus. The awards program has a rich and proud tradition at Otterbein, and I am pleased to highlight 12 outstanding individuals and one civic organization joining this revered network. When recognized this morning, each honoree will be given a brief introduction, followed by the opportunity to thank the audience. Each individual honoree, though, does have a detailed video that is currently on Otterbein's website, and the website is printed on the back of your program. We've also posted these to social media. We do encourage you to take a look at all of these videos and learn even more about these outstanding honorees. But to get us started, I want to visually show just a little bit about this cohort, so please turn your attention to the screen for a brief video. This is an amazing group, and I cannot wait to introduce each of them to you. Our first category today is the Rising Star Award. And interestingly, all three honorees graduated together in the class of 2008. This award recognizes accomplished alumni that received their degrees within the last 15 years. An ideal candidate will have demonstrated at least one or more of the following: community achievement, global or intercultural achievement, leadership and citizenship achievement, professional achievement, research or creative achievement, and/or service to the university. So honorees, as I call your name, please come up and stand next to me on this white X. Our first honoree for today is Andy Chow, class of 2008. Andy graduated with a degree in broadcasting, and immediately his work was hitting the airwaves as an associate producer and production assistant, and then ultimately as a reporter. He currently is part of the Ohio Public Radio Television, focusing on the State House News Bureau. And he gained quite a bit of notoriety covering Governor Mike DeWine's daily COVID briefings. His nominator wrote, and I quote, "His contributions to our community can be found in the accuracy of every news story, in the vital and important information conveyed in the interview." The Otterbein community is pleased and proud to recognize Andy Chow in your ever-growing list of accomplishments. Congratulations.
Well, thank you everyone here. Thank you so much to the communications department, Denise Shively, Steve Rossman, Jeff Demas, Mark Pfeiffer, people who really helped me grow as a journalist here at Otterbein. When I was a kid, I was on a scout trip and I was hanging out with my dad, and we were sitting in a circle talking about what does it mean to be a member of the community and to give back to the community. My dad and my mom's a nurse, my dad was in journalism, and my dad said that his work in journalism, he felt that was his way to give back to the community. And ever since I heard that, I said, that's what I want to do. And Otterbein gave me the tools to do that. I feel like, especially in the past year throughout the pandemic, I felt like my job was super important, and all I wanted to do was make sure people knew all the information as soon as possible, and I was honored to do that, and I'm very honored to be here with you right now. Thank you.
Congratulations, Andy. Our second recipient is Andrew Grant, again, also class of 2008. Andrew began his career as a financial advisor during the 2008 financial recession and found his passion for educating adults. Early on, he began teaching financial strategies in the continuing education department at the University of Dayton. Andrew wanted to find a way to give back, though, to his alma mater, and he approached Otterbein about starting a similar financial literacy course for adults on campus. The course has been an incredible success, bringing more than 1,000 families to Otterbein's campus. Andrew has worked for several financial institutions and helped establish WealthBridge Capital Management. In August 2001, he started a new job as Senior Vice President of Investments with Wells Fargo Advisors. His clients respect and value his leadership, saying, "What separated Andrew was that he not only invests our money, but he cares about every aspect of our lives." Congratulations to Andrew as a Rising Star recipient.
Well, thank you, Otterbein. It's hard following the PR guy. And thank you guys for not going outside of 2008. Not sure we'd all be here if you went too far. Apparently we were on fire. I want to thank Otterbein, President Comerford, Mark Moffitt. You guys have been incredible partners in my class. It's been incredible. I want to thank my wife. Thank you for taking a chance on me, supporting me, my daughter. Love you guys. Very proud of this award. I hope you're proud of me today. Thank you.
And to complete the class of 2008 trifecta, we have Maria Wheeler-Dubas. Maria wants to inspire and empower the world through research and scientific achievement, but realizes that the public cannot appreciate it if it isn't shared with them. Her passion for science started with a degree in life sciences, followed by a PhD in biology. As a science education outreach manager at the Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Gardens, she gets the daily joy of sparking excitement for science, nature, and conservation. Her nominator wrote, "Maria has particular talents for translating science with clarity and liveliness to a wide audience and for handling hot topics with tact, respect, and evidence." Congratulations to Maria for your commitment to science education.
Thank you all so much. I think if the last year and a half has taught any of us anything or reminded us of something, it's how interconnected we all are and how our impacts or our actions impact others. And I know that anything that I could possibly be recognized for today was because many people along the way have made choices that supported me in a number of ways. Whether it was Otterbein faculty who were always so dedicated to our success as students. I had a great experience here, and I really appreciate all of the work of the faculty and staff. And I also appreciate the support of my family and friends. My family right now sitting right there in the middle. And I just can't imagine where I would have been without their support and the decisions that impacted me positively. So thank you all. Enjoy some nature today. Enjoy some science. Yeah, if that's my if that's my goal. So, thank you all so much.
The second Alumni Award category is the Otterbein Alumni Award. This award recognizes accomplished alumni that received their degree 16 or more years ago. Once again, they have the same criteria in that they've demonstrated one or more of the following: community achievement, global or international achievement, leadership and citizenship achievement, professional achievement, research or creative achievement, and of course, service to the institution. Our first honoree for the Otterbein Alumni Award is Anne Bancroft, class of 1998. Anne's experiences with horses as a child at Otterbein ultimately led to her pursuit of an equine pre-vet degree. Anne went on to earn a Doctor of Veterinary Medicine at The Ohio State University. Since graduation, Anne has used her creativity, passion, and expertise to build the rehabilitation and integrative medicine practice at MedVet. Today, she is the specialty leader of the department across all MedVet locations. She also provides continuing education to other veterinarians and has even provided care to animals at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. Congratulations to Anne as an outstanding Alumni Award recipient.
I just would like to say thank you so much for this honor and to be included with this group of wonderful people. I really feel honored for that, and I'd just like to thank Otterbein. I really feel that my experience here with the faculty, as Maria had said, that their support and encouragement to grow and continue to push me and to learn and to get where I am today in veterinary medicine really happened here with Dr. Calderon and Dr. Lynn Taylor and Lucy Cryan in the equine department. I'm very grateful for that and for the level of education I received and all the friendship and long-term relationships that I made with my professors and with my classmates. I still maintain those, and I'm very grateful for that, and also very thankful for my family support through my different changes in majors throughout the years. I appreciate that, and it's made me a very well-rounded person, if anything. Thank you all.
The second Otterbein Alumni Award recipient is Larry Gifford, class of 2004. How about class of 1994? Larry began his 30-plus year career in talk radio right here at WOBN, and currently is the National Director for Talk Radio at Chorus Entertainment in Vancouver. In 2017, Larry was diagnosed with young-onset Parkinson's disease. His nominator, John Buckles, wrote, "Since receiving this life-changing diagnosis, Larry has used his platforms to impact thousands of people by offering hope, raising awareness, coordinating resources, and enlisting the services of countless others." Larry has raised more than $20 million for local charities. He was appointed to the Michael J. Fox Foundation, and he launched a podcast called When Life Gives You Parkinson's. Leading his own nonprofit organization, PD Avengers, Larry collaborates with more than 50 international Parkinson's organizations and the World Health Organization to address this disease on a global level. Congratulations to Larry as an Otterbein Alumni Award honoree. Unfortunately, due to COVID restrictions, Larry was not able to travel from Vancouver into the United States. Accepting the award on his behalf is his brother and fellow alumnus, Dan Gifford.
All right, thanks. Give me a second here. Larry, as he wouldn't trust the accounting major to come up and speak for him, he sent me what he wanted me to say. So let's see how this goes. These are Larry's words. I want to thank the Alumni Council, the Board of Trustees, President Comerford, my brother Dan. Wave to the crowd, Dan. So they literally wrote that in there for me. And my friend and mentor, John Buckles, for nominating me for this award. With Buck's guidance, I switched from being a theater major to a speech communications with a broadcast emphasis 3 days into my first trimester. The ability to get on air at Otterbein's WOBN radio during my freshman year gave me a competitive advantage in getting jobs in Columbus radio. I was hired full-time in the WTVN newsroom when I graduated, or before I graduated. It's been a Gumpian, like Forrest Gump, journey with a lot of moving trucks along the way. Today I'm the National Director of Talk Radio for Chorus Entertainment in Vancouver, British Columbia. Like any good story, there's always a twist. 4 years ago, at the age of 45, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. I started the podcast When Life Gives You Parkinson's, became a member of the Michael J. Fox Patient Council, and I recently co-founded PD Avengers, a global alliance of people with Parkinson's, partners, loved ones, organizations, and medical professionals. Hopefully in the not-too-distant future, I can return to share the news that after 200 years, we've cracked the code on Parkinson's. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Receiving the next award is a graduate of the class of 1981, Leslie Lascheid. Leslie is the CEO of Neighborhood Health Clinic in Naples, Florida, a free medical and dental care clinic for low-income, working, but uninsured adults. The clinic provides more than 11,000 patient visits and 28,000 patient procedures annually, including root canals to CAT scans to heart surgery. Patients pay nothing for their services thanks to generous donors and grants. Leslie led the organization through a $12.8 million expansion that began in 2017. In 2020, Leslie's determination kept the neighborhood health clinic open every single day to serve their patients even in the face of a global pandemic. Leslie, thank you for your dedication to serving others, and congratulations on your Otterbein Alumni Award.
Thank you so much for this distinguished award. Thank you, President Comerford, Kent Stuckey and the nominating committee, Stacy and team. Otterbein's mission is to prepare graduates to think both deeply and broadly, dedicated to educating the whole person. Human values are a set of measures and behaviors which people choose to follow and practice as they strive to do the right thing. These are learned values through our teachers, our religious leaders, our parents, and our society as a whole. Human values allow us to prioritize other people's needs. Passion for service, volunteerism, social responsibility are Otterbein's vision, resulting in a positive impact onto our community's needs. I am a proud graduate of Otterbein University. Thank you very much.
The fourth Otterbein Alumni recipient is George Edward Liston from the class of 1952. George distinguished himself as an art educator for nearly 40 decades, influencing generations of art students and teachers. A Naval Air Reserve officer during the Korean War, he earned a master's degree from Miami and attended the London Business School before launching his illustrious teaching career. In his own classrooms, George made community service and outreach a priority. One of George's students said, George was a dynamic art educator, making art come alive for his students. There was never a doubt in my mind that I wanted to spend the rest of my life sharing my love of art with others, just as George has shared his passion with his students. George routinely gave back to his community by serving and leading on multiple boards, while also receiving several major awards. And he supported the Otterbein community too, as a volunteer in the Dayton Otterbein Alumni Group and as a contributor to the founding of Otterbein's lifelong learning community, which now has more than 200 members. Please join me in recognizing George Liston.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you. I'm George, and I'm 91 years young. So I represent Otterbein of a different era. In the fall of 1948, I matriculated as a freshman. And the freshman class of that year had a very different challenge, because we had 7:30 classes, 8:30 chapels, Saturday morning classes, and we wore these ridiculous beanies. Yes. But then, that was then, and this is now. And at this time, I want to recognize my sponsor, Kathleen Bonte, and her staff for the yeoman work they did in separating all the superfluous material I sent to produce a well-written, informative nomination form to the Alumni Council. Thank you. And to the Alumni Council, Thank you for this honor. Sharing my honor today are my son and grandson, both Otterbein grads. My son, Jeff, class of 75, and also my fraternity brother. Grandson, Scott Crowder, class of 95. And of course, Jane, my best friend and my wife for 68 years. That's what you call a commitment. In closing, I have chosen these words. May Otterbein University continue its presence locally, nationally, and internationally, to always keep its doors of learning open to all students of all races, creeds, and nationalities, to stay focused on God, a God who taught us the meaning of brotherhood and the oneness of mankind. Thank you.
The final honoree in this category is Charles Noble II, class of 1978. Charles found his passion as a cardiologist, earning a degree from the Medical College of Ohio and ultimately specializing in electrophysiology. He practiced for over 35 years, caring for and serving the people of Columbus. Charles led the Columbus-based chapter of Close the Gap, a national project aimed at addressing disparities in cardiovascular care for underserved patient populations of women, Black Americans, and Latino Americans. His nominator, Norris Cumberlander, class of 1980, wrote, Dr. Noble was committed to knowing all there was to know about his field of study and extending, maintaining, and saving lives of all members of our community. Now retired, Charles and his wife remain active in the Columbus area as advocates for decreasing health disparities for underserved communities. Congratulations, Dr. Noble, on your Otterbein Alumni Award.
First, I want to thank the Otterbein Alumni Council, as well as President Comerford, and the faculty and staff at Otterbein. I'm a graduate of 1978, and as you can tell, I wish I had that beanie cap that George had, because back then I had an afro. I do not now. It was really a treat to have breakfast with some of the staff today. And as I found this morning, as I knew back then, that we're in great hands. Otterbein was a very nurturing environment for a kid that grew up in Newark, Ohio, that never expected to reach some of these goals. And I attribute and I bring Otterbein with me with those accomplishments, because you were very successful in nurturing a young man and really developing that thirst for understanding things and the atmosphere and the environment to accomplish those things. I also want to thank my family, who is sitting in the fifth row there, my wife, Cheryl. We just, let's see, what was that, 41? 40, yes, okay, thank you. She's going to get me for that one. We just had our 41st anniversary. My two sons, both of them are attorneys here in Columbus, Ohio. They're with us this morning. My daughter couldn't be here, but my family's here. And I just want to thank everybody for this award. God bless, and please stay safe. Sorry, Cheryl.
So the Otterbein community is inspired by many individuals, some of whom did not attend classes here. The Otterbein Alumni Award was created in 1950 for the purpose of recognizing and honoring these individuals who again are not graduates of Otterbein, but who have demonstrated outstanding interest, commitment, and involvement in the life of its activities. Recipients embody the notion that friends of the university, in addition to its alumni, can and do play an important and vital role in the enhancement of the institution. I am pleased to add 2 more names to the list of honorary alumni. The first honorary alum is John Devlin. John Devlin is a renowned international choreographer, dance soloist, movement specialist, and teacher with more than 40 years of experience. John is also a pioneer and leader in the field of dance exercise, creating and launching Dancercise in 1967. John became a member of the Otterbein faculty in 1988 and taught for almost 30 years. He had an enormous influence on generations of students and faculty. One of his nominators, alumna Erin Kane, class of 2010, wrote, "Mr. Devlin was an absolute joy to work with. His enthusiasm, creativity, and passion about the power of movement and dance to change lives was infectious. He was committed to the mental and physical well-being of his students." Unfortunately, John was not able to be present today. Accepting the award on his behalf is Stella Kane.
I would be the one who would drop it, so I thought I would put that over there. I'm Stella Kane. Oh, I'll take this off. I'm Director of Dance here at Otterbein. John was unable to be with us today, but I am very happily accepting this award on his behalf. I know he wants to thank Erin, and he wants to thank the university for recognizing him with this honorary alumni award. Believe me, it is very well-deserved. I want to thank John for 30 years of incredible contributions, talent, and commitment he gave this university and the dance department. He is one of the founding bricks that built this house, and his mentoring and teaching brilliance have impacted hundreds, dare I say, thousands of students and colleagues. Thank you, John. You are a gift now and forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Stella. Our final honorary alumni recipient is Barb Smoot. Barb became the first employee of Women for Economic and Leadership Development, or WELD, in 2010, and now serves as the organization's president and CEO. Barb and former Otterbein president, Dr. Kathy Crendel, developed a strong partnership between WELD and Otterbein. In fact, Otterbein became the host site for the first WELD Women's Leadership Conference, and now is the home to the first collegiate chapter of WELD. As part of President Crendel's women's leadership class, as well as the collegiate chapter, Barb has impacted hundreds of Otterbein students. In her nomination by Maggie Ellison, a 2-time Otterbein graduate, Maggie wrote, "Barb would stop at Otterbein in her personal van to take as many students who would fit, again at WELD's expense, to events hosted by the organization so they could meet people in the community, network, and become a part of something bigger than themselves and to grow as leaders." We feel so fortunate that Barb has chosen Otterbein as a place where she dedicates her knowledge, time, and resources. We are very proud to call Barb Smoot an honorary alumna.
Thank you. I've been waiting years to have something from Otterbein with the Smoot name on it. I have 3 children. They couldn't get it right, and sometimes as parents, you know, you just got to do it yourself. That being said, I would like to thank President Comerford for collaborating with Weld and supporting Weld in our mission. Many thanks to Maggie Ellison for her kind words and for her advocacy in ensuring that I had a place on today's agenda. I can't think of a more important thing to do in this world than to bring up a generation of leaders. More than ever, our world needs compassionate, courageous, confident, competent leaders who have the courage to do what is necessary to take care of this world and leave it a better place and think of someone else besides themselves. There is no greater institution that is preparing leaders like that than Otterbein. Otterbein not only says that kindness matters, Otterbein practices kindness. And what I have witnessed here and have been a part of here is the tremendous kindness of a university and a community that is truly building leaders of character who want the world to be a better place. And thank you again for the opportunity to be here today, and I can't wait to see my children. Thank you.
Again, congratulations to all of our Alumni Award honorees. We at Otterbein are so proud of what you've accomplished and look forward to what you do next. Please welcome to the podium President John Comerford, who will present our Mary B. Thomas honorees.
Thank you all very much. It is my distinct honor to recognize the Mary B. Thomas Commitment to Otterbein Award recognition today. This award was established to recognize extraordinary philanthropic leadership, service, and advancement of Otterbein's mission. It is the highest honor Otterbein bestows upon its community members. Those who are chosen to receive this award have elevated Otterbein with their transformational leadership and commitment. This year, we are pleased to have selected multiple recipients for Otterbein's highest honor. Our first recipients are Alan Goff, class of 1975, and his wife, Coral Harris. Alan and Coral are deeply committed to Otterbein and making a difference in the lives of our campus community and beyond. After relocating from Maine to Westerville in 2018, not that long ago, the couple has passionately immersed themselves into life on campus. No matter the campus event, you will find them there, attending a performance, planning sustainability efforts with faculty, and even volunteering during our 5 graduation ceremonies this last May as an usher. Alan and Coral have been advocates for a number of causes, from sustainability to lifelong learning to COVID-19 support and more. Not only have they been an ongoing presence on campus, but their philanthropic support has made a huge difference in multiple areas of campus. They generously supported the recent Where We Stand Matters campaign and established the Dr. David Deaver Memorial, Dr. David Deaver Mathematics and Computer Science Endowed Fund, the Innovative Sustainability Fund, the Revolving Green Fund, and created the Sustainable Water Feature and Outdoor Lab at the Point. They are also dedicated supporters of the Otterbein Fund, the Promise House, Friends of the Library, the Otterbein Department of Theater and Dance, the Kathy Crendel Distinguished Lecture Series, and our Health and Sport Nutrition Science program. The couple has also earmarked a planned gift for Otterbein to be used in support of the university's endowment. In fact, in making this list, we were nervous we were going to miss something because they are so involved in so many efforts on campus. They have truly dedicated themselves to Otterbein. They are humble and gracious. Neither Alan nor Coral seek the spotlight. I'm sure they're uncomfortable standing up here right now, but we appreciate you doing it. But their dedication to Otterbein makes it all necessary that we recognize them. They really relish in the impact they make on campus on students and faculty and staff. That's why they enjoy being on campus so regularly, taking advantage of senior college, the lifelong learning community, helping at the Point in the community garden, and cheering on our student athletes and performers. When you see them on campus, please get to know them. They're delightful people. Say hello and thank them for all they've done to make this institution what it is today. It's my great honor to bestow the Mary B. Thomas Class of 28 Commitment to Otterbein Award to Alan Goff and Coral Harris. It's heavy. Got it? I can put it back on the table if you want.
Thank you, President Comerford, for your introduction. I must admit that Alan and I were stunned when we were notified about the award. It was totally unexpected. That said, we are deeply honored to be the recipients of the 2021 Mary B. Thomas Award. To us, this award is Otterbein's expression of gratitude for our contributions to the university. But gratitude works both ways. We are grateful that we have been warmly welcomed into this inclusive, caring community. We are grateful for the opportunities to contribute to Otterbein and its mission of supporting students, enabling them to improve their lives and to be productive, contributing members of society. The alumni at this morning's ceremony exemplify the end results of an Otterbein education. And it's a very inspiring group of people. I was just sitting here listening to everything that everyone has done, and I was like so impressed and inspired. Again, thank you very much.
Our second recipient of the Mary B. Thomas Commitment to Otterbein Award is an organization that has made an immeasurable impact on countless students and our community for the past 100 years. The Westerville Otterbein Women's Club was established in October 1921 by 30 visionary alumni, faculty, and their spouses to honor outstanding Otterbein women and provide financial support to the university. For the past century, the selfless members of the Westerville Otterbein Women's Club have never wavered from this mission. In the beginning, members hosted teas, luncheons, and picnics for new faculty, senior women, the campus community, and guests visiting Otterbein. The club's first donation was shortly after its founding in 1922, when they donated a remarkable $5,000 in 1922. 10 years later in 1932, and during the height of the Great Depression, the club donated an additional $5,000 to support the construction of the Alumni Gym, now of course known as the Battelle Fine Arts Center. In 1952, the club established a community and volunteer-run thrift shop on campus to help fund donations to Otterbein, under the leadership of volunteers Carol Frank and Vida Clements. The Westerville Otterbein Women's Club has donated more than $1 million to support the university since it was established 100 years ago, and continues to donate between $30,000 and $35,000 every year. Even this last year in 2020, when they could not open the thrift shop, they still contributed $25,000 to make sure students in need would have support. The thrift shop is run and managed entirely by the club's dedicated board of directors and volunteers. In total, more than 30 volunteers work over 2,000 hours each year to operate the shop. All proceeds go directly to support the endowed scholarships the club has founded, including the Westerville Otterbein Women's Club Scholarship, the Donna L. Kerr Scholarship, the Westerville Otterbein Women's Club Service Scholarship, and the Diamond Jubilee Grant, which provides emergency assistance to students in need. The club will celebrate its 100th anniversary soon, and just last month has been selected to receive the prestigious Association of Fundraising Professionals Central Ohio Chapter Outstanding Volunteer Fundraising Group in honor of National Philanthropy Day in November. In fact, when I got to campus just over 3 years ago, I was so impressed with this group that I asked if I could become a member. And so I am proud to say that I am a lifetime member of the Westerville Otterbein Women's Club. And that makes it a special honor and privilege to bestow our second Mary B. Thomas Class of 28 Commitment to Otterbein Award. Accepting the award will be Club President and Otterbein alumna Joyce Miller and alumna and club member Susie Jones.
We humbly accept this award. A lot of many, many thousands and thousands of hours over 100 years which started out as 35 members from Dayton and Westerville, met at the Miramar restaurant. How are we going to do this? Our goal is to get students to school. They even went so far as sold goat's milk by the glass. They had picnics, all types of activities, so they could raise money. As Dr. Comerford mentioned, that $5,000 award was quite the beginning. The first 3 scholarships that were given were $20 each. We thank Donna Kerr so much for the dedication that she gave and has given over the years to us. We thank the many, many professors, and we thank the president now and his staff who support us all the time. I must add a personal note. Susie and I walked across this stage 60 years ago to receive our degree. Anything else, Susie? Thank you very much.
At this point, we will invite our honorees to join the audience, but congratulations, let's hear it for all of our honorees one more time. What a remarkable group. You can tell that they all became friends with each other this morning. This is good. What a hard group to follow. What a remarkable group of individuals, and it's really humbling to work at a place that has those sorts of people dedicated to it. What a remarkable group of people. So they asked me this morning to do a brief State of the University presentation. And they said, hey, John, you got 10 or 15 minutes. And I said, well, good, because not much is going on, right? It's been a pretty quiet couple of years, not much happening. So this will be easy, no big deal. In fact, this has been the most eventful year and a half, 2 years, certainly of my career, of maybe most of your lives, and it's been the same thing at Otterbein. There's been a lot. And so I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, and that's COVID-19. That has been driving things for the past year and a half. And we have always kept in touch with the public health professionals. It is a true story that one of the last things we did in March of 2020, before we went to remote instruction for us that semester, was on this very stage, we hosted John Kasich and Arnold Schwarzenegger and John Kerry for a discussion on climate change. And then soon thereafter, Governor DeWine called all the college presidents and said, you've got to go to remote instruction, it's time to send everybody home. And it was funny, on that night, as I was meeting Arnold Schwarzenegger and John Kerry and all the rest, Joe Mazzola, the Franklin County Health Commissioner, came up to me backstage and he put his card in my hand with his cell phone number written in the back, and he said, you and I are going to have to keep in close touch. And we kept in close touch this whole time with Franklin County Public Health. That has been the rule. We will do what is safe. And we understand that throughout this whole thing there are different opinions. We have not been driven by opinions. Trust me, I get the emails and the phone calls from both sides, unhappy with what we're doing in one way or another. We have said consistently we are doing what Franklin County Public Health has advised, including to this day the indoor mask requirement and things like that. But the reality is it hasn't been a normal year and a half. That March of 2020, governor said and sent everyone home. Suddenly, I became president of an online college. Who knew? That was not really part of the plan. We were not exactly prepared for that. No, by the way, we were in the middle of a cyber attack at the same time. It was the most challenging week I've ever been through, and I know it's the same for all of my colleagues here. But we made it happen. I should say they made it happen. I didn't have much to do with it. Everyone pulled together to make it happen. We sort of took a pause from classes for a week and then resumed classes online just a week later and finished that semester. Then last year was sort of a mix. It was about a third in-person classes, a third remote classes, online classes, and a third hybrid, sort of a general mix of in-person and both. But we couldn't play sports in the fall. A lot of our campus activities couldn't happen. It wasn't quite the same. I've got to say, I have been blown away by the creativity of our students, faculty, and staff. This is just a picture of a theater production from last year. all of the performing arts. We had science departments sending experimental kits home to students so they could do that in that spring of 2020 semester. The amount of creativity and resilience demonstrated on this campus has really been inspirational. And you have still gotten, even though we haven't been exactly how we wanted to be through this whole time, you have gotten that Otterbein spirit and that Otterbein family through all of this. Now, I didn't take this picture. You probably can't make it out. But this is from spring of 2020, and that is a group of deer in front of Towers Hall. That's how empty the campus was. We had deer roaming the campus. The other thing that struck me was if you walked around campus that summer of 2020, I noticed that, you know where the sidewalks come together? There was grass growing where the sidewalks meet. And I don't know about all of you, but all the Otterbein students take the shortcut and step where that grass, and so there's usually grass on those corners. But there hadn't been people on campus. We were doing these remarkable things, these creative things. The dedication of our faculty and staff was on full display. But the reality is, as you all know, Otterbein is a relational place. This place is based on small classes and faculty that know your name and caring individuals. And that came through in the hybrid and online environment, but it was never quite going to be the same. The campus wasn't the same. Until the last 4 weeks, where we're back to almost entirely in-person activities, wearing masks and taking precautions as advised by the public health officials, but certainly there's a much healthier, we're at homecoming, and it just lifts my heart to see the students on campus and all of you on campus, because it means we're getting back to what Otterbein really is. Now, this has been painful too. I have a picture up of the campus center because one of the things we did right immediately when this happened, we knew there would be a financial impact, and so we did things like we stopped all capital spending. The campus center was slated for renovation. We said, nope, we're holding on all the money we can right now, and so we're going to put those sorts of things on pause and only deal with emergency capital requests. We asked our faculty and staff to go a whole year without retirement contributions. That was a painful thing. We went through and looked for academic programs that had very low enrollment, and we ended some of those. We eliminated some faculty and staff positions, including having to say goodbye to about a dozen or so of our colleagues, and that was painful. But the reality was, if you look before the pandemic to now, our enrollment's down about 8%. Our room and board is significantly down, even more than that, because students last year didn't really live on campus in the same numbers. Campus wasn't the same. There wasn't all that much going on, so you couldn't really blame them. And while our first-year students this year are returning to campus, those sophomores, juniors, seniors haven't returned to campus in those same numbers. There's a lasting impact at Otterbein that is not solved by a vaccine. There is a lasting impact that will take some years to recover from, and we have to be honest about that fact and some of the tough things in front of us. Now, there are silver linings. The primary one that happened very quickly was in every federal aid package, in Donald Trump's term and in Joe Biden's term, they included money for higher education. And so we got from the federal government and from the state about $6 million that went directly to student financial aid, directly to students in need whose families had layoffs and other problems and they couldn't afford to come back to school. We were able to help them through this. It's also the case that we got $8 million for the institution to help see us through this time. It's one-time money, and we're using it for this one-time crisis. But it has been essential that happened, and the state of Ohio and the federal government came to our aid in these times, and our students' aids in this time. It's also the case that a silver lining has been, you would think that at a time where, if you remember, a year ago, unemployment was 20-something%, and no one knew what was going to happen, and boy, it'd be a hard time to ask for money, wouldn't it? Well, we decided, we got to ask for money. This is, if you're going to help, now is the time. And last year, we raised 70% more money than we had the year before the pandemic. Our alumni and friends, when we asked, stepped up to help in this time, and we raised $5.4 million in new commitments last year, and that's huge, and that's many of you in this room making that happen. So here's where we are now when it comes to COVID-19. A big fat question mark. And this is not just about when are we finally at enough vaccination or through variants or whatever, that we can really get back to 100% normal and take the masks off and sort of resume everything as we want to. That's a big part of the question, don't get me wrong, and we'll continue to take the public health advice. But it's also, what do students do now? What happens in the future? In the fall of 2020, that fall that we opened without athletics and without a lot of student activities and all that stuff, our incoming student class was significantly down. It was, we'd normally get 620 or 630 incoming first-year students. We had about 480. And that small class will be with us for several years. This year, we bounced back up to 580, getting closer back to that 630. But does that bounce back fully next year? Do we see increases in retention? Do we see students returning to residence halls and room and board? What happens now? And the reality is, as we joke around here, the crystal ball is broken. We don't know what happens next. This is an unpredictable environment. But I will say that I'm enormously proud and grateful that Otterbein has outperformed our peer group in this regard. We watch, say, the Ohio Athletic Conference schools are a lot like us. We rebounded about 100 incoming new students this year. Half the OAC was down again. So they were down in 20 and they were down again this fall in terms of incoming new students. So obviously we're doing some things right, and Otterbein is continuing to attract students. But we don't know what happens next. The reality is, though, we can't just play defense, right? We've got to play offense. We're getting ready for the game here, right, everybody? We got to get the ball moving down the field. And we need a good defense. We need to make sure we're wearing masks and doing everything right about how we're supposed to be dealing with this. But if all we do is play defense, we're going to lose the game. We've got to start moving forward. We've got to be trying new things. And so I'm excited to share with you this morning a lot of the stuff that we have in the hopper that's going to be happening at Otterbein. The first thing is innovation. Otterbein has always been an innovative place, right? There's an engineering student up there, obviously pre-pandemic, no mask. But what kind of school, 5 or 6 years ago decides, hey, we're going to launch an engineering program and build something like The Point and do these innovative things? The problem is, in this particular moment, money's kind of tight, right? And so where do you find the seed money to be able to launch some new things? And so thanks to generous donors, and we're going to dedicate ourselves in the operating budget, we're going to set up an innovation fund. And it's an innovation fund that will help us launch things in current programs, new programs, curricular and co-curricular programs that we think will attract and retain students at Otterbein. So you're going to see all sorts of new ideas coming. And the beautiful part of this is we're going to use a process that allows every member of the campus community, student, faculty, and staff, and even alums if you want to, submit their ideas. And then we're going to use our shared governance process to narrow those down and find the things that we're going to invest in. But you're going to see new academic programs, new co-curricular programs, and I want to tell you about some of those ideas, but I'd be getting ahead of myself right now. But know that we're going to be innovating moving forward because that's going to be necessary. And while every other institution is hiding down in their trench, Otterbein's going to be the school that moves forward and tries new things at this challenging time, despite those challenges. It's also the case that we have to get back to our campus needs and infrastructure. This will look familiar, but it's not quite the same, right? This is an idea, a concept is all it is. This isn't a final design of the campus center. The campus center project has been on the books for several years, and what we're going to do is do a multi-phase project, where phase one will be the entrance to the building, a new elevator for accessibility, a new facade on the building. You can see the sort of dated wood that's up there right now is gone, and we'll have something like this, and a launch into what we want to eventually make the Grove, a walking district in front of the campus center there. Then we'll go in future years and renovate the dining hall on the second floor into a modern food service, food court sort of operation. On the first floor, we're going to put in better and more appropriate student life offices and new meeting spaces and a sort of a conference center set up in there. And then we will finally get into the lower level where we have our pit theater and make sure that that is upgraded and up to date. And so we're excited to see that change on campus coming, plus a lot of other opportunities and needs to improve our beautiful campus. Beyond just physical infrastructure, we need to make sure our programs are what students are looking for right now. This is a student on an internship with the Columbus Crew, in case you don't recognize the backdrop. This is Madison. And we recognize that what happens in our classrooms is incredibly powerful, right? Our faculty change lives every day and are some of the best teachers in the country. But we also recognize that what happens outside of the classroom is often just as powerful. And think about your student experiences. If you studied abroad or had an internship or had a leadership experience, these sorts of things are transformational sorts of opportunities. The problem at Otterbein and everywhere in higher education is that those things are hit or miss. Most of our students have these life-changing experiences, but not all of them do. So we're going to launch a new initiative called Every Student Will. And this will set Otterbein apart because no other college is doing it. If you come to Otterbein, every student will, from the moment they set foot on campus, have a career map and plan so that every course is lined up with where they want to go, every activity is lined up with where they want to go, and we're going to assign them a mentor from the day they set foot on campus. Every student will, sophomore year, come back early. Just like we bring in first-year students early for orientation, we're going to bring back sophomores early, and we're going to do a career and vocational boot camp. We're going to match you up with alumni, and this is where we're going to need your help in the fields that you want to enter so that you'll get to learn about their experience and how they got to their career success. We actually just got a grant for vocational exploration. It is not just about a paycheck. Did you hear from our award winners up here that, well, I got a good paycheck, but I didn't really love what I did? We want our graduates to have a calling, to have a purpose, to have a vocation. And so we're going to focus on that sophomore year. Junior year, every student's going to be required to have an immersive experience. It's not optional. You're going to have an internship. You're going to have a study abroad. You're going to have one of these life-changing, hands-on, applied experiences. And if you come to Otterbein, it's guaranteed. And then senior year, we're going to help you in transition. We're going to hook you back up with alumni mentors in your field so we can activate our great coast-to-coast and around the world alumni network to support our upcoming graduates. And we're going to make sure that our senior year seminar includes, for lack of a better term right now, we're calling it Adulting 101. Everything from personal financial management, maybe signing up for that credit card because of the free water bottle wasn't such a good idea, right? To media literacy, how to tell when you're being lied to, even from a news source. These skills will matter, and we're seeing that in our society. Our graduates need to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And so we think that particular combination is distinctive, and we're already seeing that resonate with prospective students and families, that Otterbein becomes the school that takes the breadth of the liberal arts education and ties it with the applied, hands-on learning that we know we do so well for every student. That also gives us a chance to tie in to corporate partners. The Point put us on the map there. The Point, if you haven't been down there, you should go check it out. Most of the space in the Point is assigned to corporate tenants who do R&D on our campus, and as a condition of them being on campus, they work with Otterbein students in their work. It's hands-on applied, internships, classroom learning, labs, with real professionals in their fields right here on campus. And that gives us a leg up in terms of workforce development. As I talk to corporate leaders and nonprofit leaders in Central Ohio and beyond, what I hear is workforce, workforce, workforce. We can't find the people that we need. We're a workforce generator. And instead of the old model of American higher education where we put on a degree program, where we cross our fingers and we really hope it's what employers want, we're going to bring employers into the process. And we're going to make them our partner by expanding on the Point and actually tying in through what we're calling the Advantage Partnership, where the university offers employees and their dependents a discount on tuition to come to Otterbein, and in exchange, we have regular access to their HR department to tie these programs together. It's that intentional partnership that will make this work. That expansion of the Point will be part of another project. This is too small to see, but that's all right. Braun Farm is next to the Point. The university has acquired that property and is going to turn into a mixed-use development so that we're going to have a residential community, active 18 hours a day, full of housing, especially for those who are, we're thinking young professionals and even retirees who want to live and work in a walking district. We will have a CODA transit hub so you can get wherever you want to go in Central Ohio from right here on campus. We will have a new pedestrian bridge tying across the creek into Uptown, and so you can live, work, shop all in one place without needing a car and without having to go around all the time. That's a community for the future. And then as part of that will be innovative new commercial spaces, including the Point 2.0 and hundreds of thousands of square feet of new space for corporate partners from Cleveland Avenue on back to campus, where we can tie in with more experiential learning opportunities for our students. And so just like we are lucky to have Uptown on our east, we will have a dynamic, innovative community on our west to make sure that Otterbein is in the middle of it all in central Ohio. This is actually a view, conceptual of course, of the first floor retail and commercial opportunities. So there'll be restaurants and shopping and things to do, all adding to the attractiveness in Otterbein and Westerville. I want to end on Towers Hall. You all recognize Towers Hall. You've heard of it, right? It's an important thing around here. We use it on all of our logos. It's always in front of us, no matter what we do. And I have a great view of it from my office. It's just the most beautiful building that I think most of us have ever seen, and it brings back such memories. But what most people don't know about Towers is that Towers was born of crisis. Towers was built in 1870 and 71, completed in 71, after the college's main building burned. When the university was founded in 1847, it was founded on what had been the site of a failed high school academy. And there were a couple of buildings that came at the beginning of the institution that we had access to. And the main building was called Old Main, as most campuses have an Old Main, and Old Main burned down. Now imagine what that moment was like. It would be the equivalent today of losing this building, the campus center, Roush, Towers, the science building, the Battelle, all in one fell swoop. It was 3/4 of the campus was gone in one night in that fire. And by most measures, Otterbein should not have survived that moment. It was before you had good insurance on things, and that was probably the end of the infant college at that point. And that was going to be the end of the story. Except for the few alumni we had at that point, and mostly the community of Westerville, rallied around to build Towers Hall. Towers Hall was born of fire. Towers Hall was born of crisis. And it has stood there as a symbol since 1871. And think of all that that building has seen. World wars, student protests, even another global pandemic. It has stood there strongly since 1871. Some of the greatest innovation, greatest commitment, greatest opportunity lies in crisis. These are the moments where history is made, and we are together writing the next chapter of the Otterbein history book. And I know it will be a strong one because we are doing it together and because we do it with the heart of Otterbein in the center of what we're doing. That will make this place strong for the next 175 years, and I'm glad that you are all here to be a part of it. You have a lot to be proud of at this institution, and I'm proud every single day to come here and work and do my small part. So thank you so much. Thank you for all you do for Otterbein. Let's give it up for the university we love. I am pleased to bring Steve Crawford back up to close out our program with the love song.
Great. Thank you so much, President Comerford. And once again, congratulations to our Otterbein Alumni Award recipients. As we know, we are all back for homecoming, and in just about 15 minutes, the parade is going to be coming down Grove Street. So when you exit here, please feel free to stand on Grove and watch the parade as it goes by. The fun continues back at the campus center in the parking lot, where many of us had breakfast this morning for Otterfest, with live music, with food, be able to watch the football game, as well as the possibility of maybe, if you want, buy a beer at Otterbein. That's going to happen. It's going to happen. While you're there, hopefully you'll recognize some of our graduates from the class of 1956, but also 1970. Many of them will have medallions on because they are back here for their 50th reunion. As any Otterbein tradition goes, though, we do want to end closing with the love song. And the version that is going to play on the screen was one of our at-home recordings under the direction of Dr. Gail Walker. She and several students put this together from home during the pandemic, and we thought it was a perfect way to end the celebration today. So if you would stand for the singing of our alma mater, once again, congratulations and enjoy your time on campus.